In this lecture, we will discuss about expectation maximization. Let's begin with some of the basics. What is expectation? Let x be a random variable with probability density function p of x and f of x be a function of the random variable x. Then what do you mean by expectation of f of x? Expectation of f of x is the summation over f of x into p of x. Expectation of x is the summation over x f of x into p of x if x is a discrete random variable. What about if x is a continuous random variable? It's the integral over x f of x p of x dx. Let's see some examples. If x is discrete and let's say f of x equal to c, a constant value, the function is not depending upon the random variable, then what is f of x? Expectation of f of x. Expectation of f of x is defined as summation over x f of x into p of x. So summation over x c into p of x, which comes out to be c. So expectation of a constant is same as the same constant. Expectation of f of xy, function of two variables, the summation over x f of xy into p of x, a partial expectation. So in the last class we have seen mixture models, and we saw that how to estimate parameters of a and we saw how to estimate the parameters of a mixture model. We have taken the example of a Gaussian mixture model. With To make it more simpler, we have done it with two Gaussian mixtures, a mixture of two Gaussian distributions. From the previous last lecture, you you can recall that we want to optimize the log likelihood of the data set with respect to theta, theta being the parameter set. So it is our idea is to find out that particular theta which maximizes the log likelihood of the data set. Log likelihood of a mixture model can be written as L of theta, which is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n log p xi given theta, which in turn can be rewritten as sigma I equal to 1 log then p xi given theta can be written as p of zk, which is our latent variable, into p of xi given zk xi given zi equal to k, that is written as pk xi. Here you can see that there is a summation inside a log term, which as we have seen in the last class, it's very difficult to optimize such a term, such a summation inside a log term. We would have done it we would have done it very easily if this, instead of this summation, if it was a product, a log can take into the product and the product will go can be taken out as a summation, and it can be done very easily. It's not only because of the hardness due to this mathematical difficulty. It's We have just given hint towards the same in the previous class. That is, we have been trying to optimize a function which is not convex which is having more number of local optima instead of having a or which is having a large number of local optimum values. So you will be stuck into one of the local optimums values, and that is the difficulty in case of optimization process, because it may not be possible to come out of that local optimum to reach a global optimum value. So a better approach or a method by which we can solve this problem is by using a two-step approach, something like we do in the case of k-means. We repeat until converge. Start with some guess for theta. You start with some initial value of theta and compute the most likely value for zi for every I. So you start with some initial value of theta, then you go back and compute zi. Then given that zi, you update theta, and this process can be done repeatedly, and once you converge you can say that that is the theta value which gives you the maximum, or which gives you, or this is not directly maximize the log likelihood of the mixture model, but instead of that it gives you a result. Instead of directly optimizing or directly maximizing the log likelihood of the mixture model, you are trying to do it in a way something very similar to k-means algorithm. You start with a guess, and with that you can guess for theta, and with that you can actually find out what is known as probability of zi given xi. For each xi you can find out the probability of zi, and something like you are going to do something like a soft clustering, and based on that you update the values of theta, then you apply the same thing again and again. Then this process can be continued so that you will get a result uh, to this solution, but it is not explicitly maximizing the log likelihood. Let's look at this in our notebook. See, in this notebook, the same notebook we have seen in the previous class. In the last portion, I have added some more. Yeah, this is the area. You generate 1,000 samples with pi value. You are going to have a mixture of two Gaussians. Mu1, sigma 1 is the parameters of the first Gaussian, and mu2, sigma 2 are the second Gaussian's parameters. Then based on the value of z, you create, you sample from first Gaussian or second Gaussian and create this data. So this portion is to just generate this data, and the data will look like this. If you see that, the data will look like this. Both data is 50 percentage of the time this data will be selected, and 50%, that's why it's almost equal. Now you keep that pi value as it is in the sense 0.5. sigma 1 and sigma 2 values as it is, which we know sigma 1 is, we have taken sigma 1 as 5 and sigma 2 also 5. Sigma 1 is 5 and sigma 2 also 5. Then mean, we vary mean from a range from M1 and M2 to another range. We are varying the mean for I in range length of M1. We will consider different mean values and we'll try to find out the log likelihood of the corresponding sample. So for different values of M1 and M2 or different values of mu1 and mu2, you find out the log likelihood and you take all these things into an array LL. Then you plot it in the form of a surface plot. Then you can see that it will look like this. So the surface plot, uh, it will look like this. From this you can see that there are two peaks. One is at minus 10, 10 and another is at, here in the x-axis mu1 is plotted, y-axis mu2 is plotted, and in the z-axis it is on the z-axis it is our log likelihood is plotted. So you can see two peaks here. What I was trying to say is the function which we are analyzing is not convex, or you can get into, there are two optimum values. We call it local optimum, or it's not, in this case, in this simple example, both values are having the same, or it can be a global optimum also, but there are two values. If you are at this position, then you might have you may be stuck into that and you cannot come out of that. That's the difficulty in case of local optimum value. So what I am trying to say is, in case of it's not only because it's very hard to optimize because of this summation inside the log term, it's because of this property of the mixture model also. It is difficult to use our log likelihood maximization of log likelihood method. So now, can you try to combine this method? This method is actually giving you some solution, and the log likelihood method and this method, if you try to combine these two methods, then you can do it in a better way. So continuing this, if we know that theta is having these values, theta is pi. Actually, let's say we have only two mixtures, then I have single pi is enough, because pi 1 and pi 2. Pi 1 and pi 2 will be having the property that pi 1 plus pi 2 equal to 1. So pi is a single value is enough. Then mu 1 and sigma 1 for the first mixture, and mu 2 and sigma 2 for the second distribution. We can compute probability of Zi given xi, comma theta parameters like this. For Zi equal to 1, you can compute this probability of xi given Zi equal to 1 into probability of Zi, and this is your pi, and this is your pi value, and this is the observed probability of xi given Zi equal to 1 is the observed probability divided by the sum of these two values. So it is actually the sum of probability of xi equal to xi given Zi equal to 2 and xi given Zi equal to 1. So that is your probability of ZI or something like clustering, so a soft clustering. So what is the probability that this Xi belongs to Zi equal to 1? The same thing you can apply the part is the probability that Zi equal to 2 given Xi. So we can compute this entire probability where this probability is assumed to be, we know this, the normal distribution of xi given mu I comma sigma I. So this is available, probability of xi given zi equal to 1 by sigma 1 square root of 2 pi e raised to minus x minus mu 1 whole square by 2. It's the normal distribution. So knowing probability of Zi equal to 1 given xi and probability of Zi 2 equal to 2 given xi. So these two, as I've told, these two can be calculated. Zi equal to 1 and Zi equal to 2 can be calculated. So you are actually partitioning your data set into two parts, partitioning the entire X set into two parts. Some portion of your data belongs to the zi equal to 1 part and some portion of your data belongs to zi equal to 2 part. This is zi equal to 1 and this is zi equal to 2. So in the next step now we can actually compute it back by uh, or you can re-estimate the values of theta, so that once you re-estimate you will get a different value of pi, mu1 sigma 1 mu2 sigma 2 etc. So this is the way by which I can combine, or we can estimate it in two steps. That is, we start with a value theta, parameter theta, and then we compute P of Zi given Xi, and based on that probabilities we can assign all the we can assign data set, each of the Xi's in the data set into different partitions, and based on that you can re-estimate or recalculate your theta. So another a better algorithm. So we have in this, what we have told is in this particular method we are not explicitly maximizing the log likelihood. We are just trying to do it in a something like a k-means method. The same thing, if we are instead of directly assigning your partition, your data set into a particular partition like k means, if you are able to assign the probability of zi equal to k, combine these probabilities to update theta, then in that case it will be something very similar to maximizing the log likelihood of the mixture model. So instead of doing something like a hard clustering, what we do is we start with some initial guess for theta and compute the probability of zi equal to k, and based on that probability we combine all these probabilities and update our value of theta. So instead of using this value for using probability of zi given xi to partition your data, you use that probability of zi equal to probability of zi to k. Let's see that in more detail. So and that's how our expectation maximization problem works. Sorry, algorithm works. So expectation of it's a principled approach to maximize a function with latent variables. So as we know, we have a function. This is your function, and this function is not convex. uh, it's uh, it's have multiple peaks. So at some point of time, we start with let's say theta t. We have some set of parameters. At an iteration t, for a given value of theta t, we'll assume that, or we will find another function q which is convex, and that is the lower bound of this L of theta, the log likelihood of this function. So here we specifically take the log likelihood of this function, and that function is converted into another function which is a lower bound of this function, but the new function q is a convex function. So what we do, so we do something like this. At time t, we are at this point. We have some values for pi, then mu1 sigma 1, mu2 sigma 2, etc. At this point, we find the log likelihood of the function, and using that function we generate this function, that is sorry, this function, which is a convex function, and which will not cover this function which is a lower bound on this function. Since this function is a convex function, we can do an ML, we can find out we can do a gradient descent or something algorithm like that, and we can find the maximum value of it. Once you get that maximum value, you can extend that value to this function and get new value for theta. The same thing is applicable here. Again, you can update the value of theta. So the value of theta is updated by using the expectation of the expected value of this function. Expected value in the sense we create a new function. So the expected value is, at this point we are expecting that instead of this function we have a convex function like this. So that's the main idea behind expectation maximization. At any iteration t, for a given value of theta, we find a convex function, that is our expected expectation, and we try to maximize the log likelihood of that function. So the maximization of that function is easy because it's a convex function. The maximization can be done, and you can extend that function, extend that values to the new function, so that, so sorry, the old function, so that you can get the new updated value of theta. So that's how you update the value of theta. So expectation maximization is an iterative procedure. Start with some value for theta. At every iteration t, update theta such that the log likelihood of the data goes up. Move theta t minus 1 to theta such that L theta minus L theta t minus 1 is maximized. So the log likelihood of the data is always should go up. That's how we update theta. So in this method, we are actually explicitly trying to maximize the log likelihood of the data. The complete log likelihood of any latent variable model can be written as, we start with the complete log likelihood of any latent variable model. It can be written as L of theta is sigma I equal to 1 to n log the join probability of xi comma zi. In this, we know that xi is known but zi is unknown. We cannot compute this directly because zi is an unknown value. If we know zi, then this can be directly computed and the log likelihood can be identified. But instead of completing this, what we do here is we try to find out the expected complete log likelihood. So we cannot compute this because this value is not available. Then what we do is we start with a theta, and based on that theta we try to estimate a value for zi, and based on that what we do is we create an expected complete log likelihood. So q of theta t minus 1, that function is the expected value of the log likelihood of theta comma theta given your data at theta t minus 1. So expected value of L of theta given data comma theta t minus 1 for all possibilities of zi. So for all possibilities of zi, you find out the expected value. Then it is something very similar to attempting this, because we don't know the zi values. Then what we do is for each of the zi values, for all possibilities of zi values, we find out the expected value of L of theta. Simply saying, we find the L of theta for all expected values of zi, and whichever is having the largest value, we would like to maximize the log likelihood, and that's how the algorithm proceeds. So initialize theta at iteration theta t, compute theta t q comma q theta comma theta t minus 1, then maximize the q you at this a function, at this point, this is your point. At this point you find q, this is your q. Once you get q, you maximize q with respect to q to get qt. So your qt minus 1 is this is your t minus 1, and this is your t. So this is your t. Now you extend this to your function, old function, then you do the same procedure here. You find out a function q here also, then you update your theta. At this point you extend your function so that you update your theta, and so on. Let's make it. So far we have been talking about expectation maximization as a general sort of thing. It's a general idea, something very similar to k-means. Now let's see it in the scenario of mixture model. Let's see the EM formulation for mixture models. Calculating and maximizing Q needs to be done for specific instances. So for each of the for mixture models, this should be done in a particular way. Maybe for another model, another mixtures, maybe for another system, we should do the expectation maximization in a different way. Let's see EM for mixture model MM. So Q theta t minus 1, as we have seen in the previous case, is expected value of the join, expected value of the join probability of xi comma z log p of xi comma zi. You can write it as the expectation goes inside, and this will be written as probability of zi into probability of xi given zi. So it will be two terms, probability of zi into probability of xi into xi given zi. So this is probability of xi, and this is your probability of zi. Probability of zi is written as a separate entry here, rik. So it will be the summation from I to I equal to 1 to n. Then the expectation goes inside and it will give you for all values of k equal to 1 to k, then rik log pi k, rik into log p xi given theta. So rik will be your zi component. So pi k will be your each of the probability of zi, probability of zi in the sense pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, etc. Each of these will be your probability of zi equal to, sorry, probability of uh, your prior probability of zi, and rik is your responsibility component, which is the probability of zi equal to k. So given xi, what is the probability that it belongs to the cluster I? So it's very similar to partitioning it, but we use this responsibility or this probability component to update theta. So instead of using the value of or something very similar to hard clustering, we update this with the help of uh, the probability component. RIK can be computed RIK equal to, and this is your expectation step. RIK is P zi equal to k xi comma theta t minus 1, and this can be expanded like this. This is how you compute q, and in the maximization step m expectation step you find out q, and the maximization step you maximize q with respect to theta. Theta, as you know, theta consists of pi 1, pi 2, etc., pi k, and other values like theta 1, theta 2, etc. Maybe mu 1, sigma 1, mu 2, sigma 2, and so on. For multivariate Gaussian, it will be theta k contains mu k and covariance matrix sigma k. You can see that in the maximization, once you do maximization pi k, you will get very nice solutions like this: pi k equal to 1 by n sigma I rik, and mu k equal to this, and so on. We will see the same thing with very small example. Let k equal to 2, we need to estimate only mu 1 sigma 1, mu 2 sigma 2, and pi 1 and pi 2. We take pi 1 and pi 2 as pi 1 plus pi 2 equal to 1, but for making it for the easiness of making it generalizable, we say that we take pi 1 and pi 2 separately. Okay, so the log likelihood of theta, the joint log likelihood of theta, LC theta, is written as sigma I log p xi comma zi given theta, which in turn can be written as the joint probability can be rewritten as probability of xi given zi into probability of zi given theta. Then this can be written in a separate way, something like this particular portion is written in another way: log k equal to 1 to k p of xi given zi comma theta into p of zi raised to an indicator function I zi equal to k, and this indicator function is such a way that I zi equal to k equal to 1 if zi equal to k, otherwise 0. So it will be same as this. It's a product of these values, product of this. So these two are same, but it's another way of writing the same thing. That's it. So it's a product 1 to k. P of xi given zi into P of zi raised to an indicator function zi equal to k, and you can see that zi equal to k equal to 1 if zi equal to k. So this is just an indicator function. Then that can be written like this: sigma I sigma k, sorry, sigma I sigma k indicator function into log pk xi given theta into p of zi given theta, which can again be written as indicator function into log pi k. Pi k is this value is pi k. P of zi given theta, that is our pi k. So pi k pk xi given theta. So this is your log likelihood. Now we cannot calculate this directly because as we don't know the value of zi or pi k. So what we do is we try to find out the expected value of this. The expected value of this can be calculated by applying expectation. Expectation goes inside summation. So expectation is of this quantity is equal to summation over I, summation over k, expectation of indicator function is at k, zi equal to k into log pi k. As we know that here the only unknown variable is zi, so this is not affected. And remember that this indicator function is equal to this value equal to 1 if zi equal to k and 0 if it is equal to not equal to k. Means that the expectation of zi equal to k will be this value 1 into p of zi equal to k given xi plus 0 into p of zi not equal to k into xi. It in turn turns out to be this value itself, p of zi equal to k given xi, which we write it as RIK, the responsibility component of I for the kth cluster. So RIK is this, we have already derived this in our previous slide. We have already derived this. So RIK is same as P of xi given zi equal to 1 into P of zi equal to 1 divided by the sum of these two. So the sum of these two. So this is your expected value for the indicator function. Now Q can be LC theta, which is the log likelihood of your data. The log likelihood is, or this value is equal to the expected value of the log likelihood as expectation of indicator function into log pi k pk xi given theta. So it is sigma I sigma k RIK log pi k pi k pk into pk xi given theta. So this is your new function q, which is where we conclude our expectation step. So the expected value of the function is taken out, which is lower bound convex function. Now in the maximization step, what we require is, this is your q, we would like to maximize this q with respect to theta. We would like to identify the theta which maximizes this value, which maximizes the log likelihood. So we would like to find out argmax q theta. So q is equal to RIK log pi k plus RIK log pk xi given theta. So you take this as two terms, log pi k and log pk xi given theta. We know that theta contains theta 1, theta 2, etc. Theta contains pi 1, pi 2, pi etc. pi k, and mu 1, sigma 1, mu 2, sigma 2, etc. mu k, sigma k. Then let's think about how to maximize q with respect to pi k. Here we have two variables, pi k, and this is one variable. Here we have another variable, theta. So pi k contains these values, pi 1, pi 2, etc. pi k, and theta contains these values, mu 1, mu 2, sigma 2, etc. So first we'll take pi k. So argmax pi k q subject to sigma pi k equal to 1. You need to identify the pi k which maximizes q. That's it. That's what it is written. You need to find out the pi k which maximizes our function. This log likelihood. Subject to this is a constraint optimization problem where this is your constraint, sigma pi k is equal to 1. The sum you cannot arbitrarily take any number of any value for pi k. You have this constraint that the sum of all pi k should be 1. Pi 1 plus pi 2 plus etc. pi k should be 1. Then we'll try to convert this constraint optimization problem to our unconstrained optimization problem by converting this into by using Lagrangian multiplier. We take this as q minus lambda into lambda is being the Lagrangian into sigma pi k minus 1. So this is your new function, or you need to find out, you need to maximize this function instead of q. Previously you need to maximize this function with respect to pi k with this constraint. Now you need to maximize this function with respect to pi k and lambda. There are two variables now, but there is no constraint. There is no constraint. Now we can apply gradient descent on this function and try to find out the maximum value, or maximization. The optimum value can be found. The partial derivative of this function with respect to pi k and with respect to lambda. That's what we are going to find out. Partial derivative of this function with respect to pi k is dou by dou pi k minus lambda equal to 0. So dou q by dou pi k minus lambda equal to 0. Dou q will give you, this part is completely out of the scope. So dou q will give you rik. So sigma I rik by pi k. Yeah, minus lambda equal to 0. So pi k will be equal to sigma I rik by lambda. So this is your pi k. Now you apply the same procedure by using dou by dou lambda equal to 0. There is another variable lambda, the Lagrangian multiplier. So dou by dou lambda equal to 0. With that you can get this sigma I pi k equal to 1. Applying this on your previous equation, you will get it as sigma I rik by lambda equal to 1. Then lambda equal to 1 by sigma I summation over I rik. In turn, you can write it as pi k equal to 1 by n sigma I rik. So this is one result, the first result you get, pi k equal to 1 by n rik. The same way you do the same procedure, you can get the values for mu k and sigma k. So I have just shown a simple way by which you can get the value of pi k. The other values like theta 1, theta 2 means etc. can be you can get very close form solution. Why? Because it's because of the nice property of your Gaussian mixture model or Gaussian distribution. Before proceeding further, I'll show you another notebook in which we will see a demonstration of the EM algorithm. In this, we have written the probability density function P of mm, normal distribution. So you supply mu1 sigma 1 mu2 sigma 2 and pi 1 equal to theta. Then once you get it from theta, you apply pi 1 into this normal distribution, then 1 minus pi, that is the other probability. Pi is probability of zi equal to 1 and 1 minus pi is probability of zi equal to 2, so the second normal distribution. So this is your PDF model. Then we have created the log likelihood also. Log likelihood of the sample is written as minus np log this value, same as the same thing which we have taken from our expression in the previous slide. So this is your log likelihood, right? Now you can see that you have created this data. This is your data. Then length of the data is taken, number of iterations. You start with this theta. Theta 0 is this. So this is your theta 0. Mu 1 sigma 1 is taken. Then EM loop. Yeah, this is your E step. In the E step, what we'll do is we'll find out gamma k. Gamma k is nothing but our RIK. Once you find the RIK into your PDF model, which we have just seen, is our compute the responsibility function, and that's the idea in the expectation step. RIK. So gamma k will be computed in for each of the data. Then in the M step, using that gamma k or using that responsibility function, you can get the values for new values of theta. That is, you find new pi k and mu k and sigma k. See, this is the result we have got. The data is converged to means and sigmas like this. New means and sigmas is 6.56 and 6.56. This is a very simple data, and standard deviation is this. The mixture is having the probability 0.5. So pi 1 is zero point 0.5 and pi 2 is 0.5. So that's what we have done is we have started with theta 0. Then at this point we have calculated the expectation step, and from here you have calculated the maximization step. So this is a simple demonstration of expectation maximization algorithm. Expectation maximization can be thought of very similar to k-means algorithm. As we have seen in the previous case, in the expectation maximization step, we calculate RIK. RIK is the responsibility of the ith data point with the kth cluster. So if you do it in the hard clustering way, like the most probable cluster for xi is computed as a prototype, then it is nothing but the k-means algorithm. So it is very similar to the algorithm which we have just seen, but instead of using combining the probabilities for finding it, we choose it as the most probable cluster. Then it will be k-mean. It will be your k-means algorithm. So k-means algorithm can be thought of as a special case of EM. Okay, so that's it about expectation maximization algorithm. Thank you.